Hey everybody, and thank you for picking Kale-E. Today's video is going to be on growing some pepper plants from seedlings. So, well, basically because we all need some spicy peppers in our lives. For materials, okay, so I'll start first. These are 2-ounce solo cups that I found out by our trash. Don't worry, they were in like this plastic bag and I was like, whoa, these are great. So I just took them. They were fully sealed. I didn't just grab some nasty, dirty cups. Yes, so 2-ounce solo cups, and you can use a safety pin or something pointy. This is actually from my anatomy class 9 years ago where we dissected stuff, so this is my little thing to keep the flaps of the skin open. Yeah, too much information. Anyways, we're gonna end up putting drainage on the bottom of the solo cups and then around for the soil to have aerated to make sure it has oxygen. Next is our soil, which is organic potting soil mix, and some water. Last but not least, my assortment of peppers. I'm a fan of peppers. I eat them every single day. I like really hot peppers too. I can just eat them off. They're the vine pretty much. So here's jalapenos. Oh, these are all backwards. Some habaneros, my favorite. I like to make a habanero salsa, habanero mango salsa. Here's some serranos. These are my ultimate favorite. I always eat serranos. I think they're the yummiest. They're not too hot and they're not too mild. They just have a really good flavor to them. Poblano peppers. I don't think these are hot at all. I just like to stuff them and use them in my cooking. A pepper hot mix. I'm excited to see what this brings. I don't know. And then another Serrano pepper mix. Now, some of my seeds are pretty old and some of them are new, so I'm just gonna see how they work out with germinating them. And I'm going to keep my seeds inside for the next 8 to 12 weeks, depending on how long it takes for them to get their secondary leaves in order for me to transplant them outside. But all in all, here's my pepper plants, and we will get started with planting them. Step 1, okay, is going to be making holes in our solo cup. So ultimately we want it to look like this with all the holes around it. So starting on the bottom, you're just gonna poke holes all the way around. Normally I kind of would plant in a bigger container than this. I would usually do maybe a 3 to 5 ounce container, but these were free and just sitting out there, so I decided I wanted to see ultimately how this would work. This one hasn't been done yet, so I just poke holes. It's harder around the bottom so you can see. And then I'll do this whole middle, but it takes more time. Yeah, so I will finish all of these guys up and then go on to the next step, but make sure that whatever type of container you're putting your seeds in has at least some drainage and some air holes so that the soil or the roots don't hit the plastic and then ball up and eventually die. They need some air, and hopefully they can go out, and then I'll make transplanting them that much easier. But yeah, we'll see with these small containers how well it does. Yeah, I had trouble with the pea pellets last time, but I wanted to kind of do just a different way of growing things this time, and I'm gonna probably do a different way of growing things next time. Okay, so step 2 is filling our red soil cups with soil and then wetting the soil down. So here we go. I'm going to fill it with soil to the top. top almost, but once I wet it, it will kind of sink down. Okay, so there's one. Now I have about 22 red solo cups. And if you have these like clunks, big chunkies of your soil, just either break it up or move those to the side and use different parts of your soil. I'm going to spray it a couple times, let it get nice and damp. So I'm going to do that for the rest of these, all of these guys, and then we will finally plant seeds in there and then wet it down again. Okay, so that's step 2. Putting the soil in, wetting it down, that's about it. All right, here are all of my filled cups. Now I have 6 different seeds over here, so I'm gonna do 3 each, and hopefully I get germination from at least half. Okay, so step 3 is gonna be a little hard because I don't have anybody helping me with the camera today, but we are going to make a hole in the dirt. Get nice and dirty if you don't have gloves. I'm gonna take one of my peppers. This is gonna be a Serranos, and I'm going to do 3 to 4 seeds in each. So I have 3 seeds right here. I am going to put it in there, cover it back up, and the drainage is already working. You can see drips of water coming out. Perfect, and cover it. Last but not least, one material I forgot was a Sharpie. And so I'm going to label this bad boy a Serrano pepper so that I don't forget, because the labels that I have are way too big. So, okay, on to the next. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to make a hole in the middle. Get about 3 to 4 seeds. A couple extra, which is fine. And then I'm going to cover it up like that. Perfect. And then write the same thing. You really want to label what you're growing, because when they're all little babies and getting their first leaves, they look the same. So it'll be hard to tell until you have the pepper. And some hotter peppers take longer to germinate. They might take a full 12 weeks, while the milder peppers will take about 8 to 10 weeks. So you kind of want to know which peppers you're dealing with and how much sun they need, and when you can kind of start to transplant them out. I want to try to do a top angle shot, even though, sorry if it's shaky. So you want to get the hole nice like that. I have my 4 little peppers. You can see them, my seeds over here. My little 3 seeds. Pour them in. Cover them up. Gonna give it an extra little squirt. Okay, and on to the next. So just a couple of tips. I'm going to keep mine inside. These seeds like to be in an 80-degree temperature, so if you're in a colder climate, maybe think about getting a heat mat underneath them to keep them kind of warm. You'll see their germination a lot quicker. And so once you start seeing the little seedlings pop up, that's when you know you need some type of sunlight or fluorescent lights on them, because they're reaching for that sun. That's when I'm going to start taking them down before work, putting them outside, and then taking them back in when I come home from work. And then once I see 2 pairs of true leaves, that's when I know I can transplant them outside to a bigger container and keep them outside fully, and knowing that they'll be okay and they'll have, you know, definite root structures going on. because they're in my little red solo cups, I need to be very careful about transplanting them, and we'll go over that in a different video. But yeah, I need to make sure that I don't, shock their root structures as I pull them from these red solo cups. Trying to think of any other tips I can think of. Yeah, just keep them warm, keep them moist. I will start, once I see the first sprouting, I'm going to start watering from the bottom instead of watering them on top. But I will water them on top until I see the first seedlings. I promise I will keep you guys updated. Once I start seeing a couple of them pop up, I will do a second video, give some more tips, see if I've run along into any other, I don't know, complications, I guess. Hopefully I don't, but if I do, I'll share them with you, and maybe you guys can help me along the way too. So yeah, thank you for picking Kale-E. Subscribe below if you want, or watch another video. Have a wonderful day, and get started on growing your peppers, because we all need a little spice of life.